What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Appreciate you for joining us for Steel City Live here on Mic Drop Sports. We're here, man, diving in after the season concludes officially last night with the Philadelphia Eagles bursting onto the scene here and ripping off a Lombardi trophy behind one Jaylen Hurts and behind that defensive front that was so dominant. Well, that defense as a whole for that Philadelphia Eagles team and how dominant, absolutely dominant they were last night. They showed us a lot, and it showed me a lot about why I still really now believe that you can win with a guy like Justin Fields. It's something that you can do. It's something that can be done, but it requires a little bit around that player. And now I really have seen it here with Jaylen Hurts. I've seen the blueprint. The blueprint isn't difficult to execute. You have to make the right moves in free agency in the draft and continue to build a group that is something that Mike Tomlin preaches about all the time, that he wants to have. A rough and tumble group, a group that can go out and beat the shit out of you. A group that is just tough and solid and just really can get it done in all three phases, but winning without being just super electric constantly on offense, relying on super good defense, and pounding it down your throat with the run game, being able to have a quarterback that can move, but be able to make the throws from the pocket when necessary. There's the formula that Mike Tomlin preaches all the time, and the opportunity for that to happen is right there with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is an athlete, just like Jaylen Hurts. He can get it done. Now, am I saying he is Jaylen Hurts? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he can be with the right team around him. Because, guys, I'm going to be honest about Jaylen Hurts. You know my feelings about him. I said it last night on the show. He is a great, well, not great, but a very good quarterback, a guy that is a very good teammate, a guy that is all about his team, a guy that gives his all 100% of the time. I really admired Jaylen Hurts, and you all know that. And I really, truly believe Justin Fields could do the exact same thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm not just bullshitting. I really, truly believe that to be true. Miss P in the building. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh? Good to see you. Zach Curry in the house. DJ Thomas, Nick Steelers, Daniel Warman. What's up? Good to see you guys. Robert Road in the house. Good to see all of you. Nick Steelers, Chiefs sucks without the refs because they mostly called flags on the Chiefs instead of the Eagles. I felt like the game kicked off last night, Nick, with a very poor call. It was not offensive pass interference by A.J. Brown. And it screwed me on a bet, man. I needed that. But anyway, that was not pass interference offensively. So it started out rough. But the Eagles, there was no ref involvement in this whatsoever. This was the Eagles putting on an absolute display of superiority. Showing that a Chiefs team that ran into a juggernaut wasn't going to be good enough. Their offensive line got pushed around, got bullied, and definitely the Eagles were the far better team that day on the field, yesterday on the field, and it was definitely something really cool. See some things coming in there. I don't know what those were. I think they were chats. Let me see what those were, guys. They were, I believe somebody gave me some gifts, some jewels. So thank you to who that was. I didn't see it. It should pop up here in a second, so I can thank you. Robert Rowe, did the Eagles make the game too big to rig? Did the refs call a fair game? I didn't watch any of the Super Bowl. I thought it was a fairly called game, absolutely. I don't think that there was any referee involvement with the outcome of this football game. I don't think it was a poorly called game either way. I feel like every call was fair except for that one that kicked off the game there. That A.J. Brown offensive pass interference play was not pass interference in my eyes. But overall, I found it to be a decently ran Super Bowl in terms of officiating. Now, was it a decent Super Bowl in terms of entertainment? No, because you want to see a Super Bowl game come down to the wire, and that wasn't the case last night because the Eagles absolutely dominated from the first snap of that ball game to the final snap of that ball game. Absolutely kicked the shit out of the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not all about the players that the Philadelphia Eagles have. We have to give credit to the Eagles coaching staff, Nick Sirianni, all the coordinators that are there. Just too many names to name. But they were so good last night in their schematics and the way they approached that football game. They remained balanced. They remained attacking too. And that was where I got fearful when that Eagles team jumped out to a really, really nice lead. I was afraid that they were going to take the foot off the gas. And that's where I feel like they would have got in trouble, but they didn't. They continued to attack and attack and attack. And that's where the Eagles really just pulled away. That was something that had to be a definite. We had to applaud the Eagles coaching staff there. No other way to slice it. They were absolutely amazing. Danny George, no more games for a long time. No, but now we're going to dive into these offseason needs, and Justin Fields has to be the priority. I feel like that game showed you something as a Steelers fan. It showed you what can be done. And I know everybody wants to beat up on Justin Fields. I was one of those people. I've beat up on him many times. But the young man worked his ass off in Latrobe last summer. He worked his butt off, and he showed improvement. And he showed that he can improve each and every week. And I know everybody isn't on board with that, and that's okay. But I really, truly believe in my heart of hearts that Justin Fields can be that same player that you saw last night guiding the Philadelphia Eagles to a Lombardi trophy. Guys, I got to say this too, and I got to applaud Jaylen Hurts one more time. The level of professionalism, the level of his team-oriented mind state that he projects out there all the time. He's all about the team, man. I got to give that young man credit. What a team player. What a guy in terms of just going out there and just being a real supportive, calming presence, never getting rattled, just going out there and doing it play after play after play. And I got to applaud him on a great season and a well-deserved championship. He's a player that you could get behind, a player that you know isn't going to light it up for 400 or 500 yards from the pocket each and every week. But in today's NFL, you don't got to do that. You don't got to do that. You got to do what he did last night. Have a monster run game that teams have to respect. Have the ability to move from the pocket if need be, from the quarterback position, and have a couple good wide receivers that you can hit splash plays to when need be, and then have that dominating defensive performance. That's the recipe, man. That is it. All right, guys, I need you to beat the shit out of that like button for me. I appreciate it. Again, whoever gave me that gift, the jewels, the rubies up there, I truly appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I hope it pops up here. I don't know why it hasn't. I'll have to see how I can thank you. I don't know why it didn't pop up on my screen, so I didn't see. Thank you, JB, HB. I know, thank you. You may feel that way. I'm delusional. That's okay. I've been right many times, and I've been wrong many times, but this is what I feel. This is what I'm feeling right now. This is what I'm seeing, guys, and you know I tell you the truth each and every time about this football team, especially when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't bullshit about that. I give you exactly what I see. And again, I'm not always right. I'm not going to always be right. You could say I'm delusional if you like. That's fine. I had people tell me I was delusional when I said the Steelers were going to go 10-7 this year. But that turned out to be right. I had many people tell me I was delusional about several things last season. So many that I can't even count. But I was right. And then there was the instances where I was dead wrong. So it does, it is what it is. I just go off of what I see and try to be as accurate as I can. Downtown John Broadway. I didn't know. Is this a new view? I didn't. Maybe I adjusted the camera a little bit different, John. I'm not sure. Jordan, what's up, Steelers? DJ Thomas, Chiefs win if their superstar wasn't out, hoping for a fast and full recovery for the ref. Yeah, I again, guys, I don't think the refereeing played one bit of attention into that, or one bit of it wasn't a factor at all, not at all last night. Sleeping lady in the house. We need to get bigger on the lines on defense and offense. Eagles going to dominate with those lines. They're a nasty bunch. Absolutely. Mouth like a Hoover. Thank you. You were the one that sent the gifts. I appreciate the 30 joules. It says 10 joules, 10 joules, 10 joules. Yeah, 30 joules. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Truly, truly, truly appreciate that. Sleeping Lady says, hi, Jason. We did that. Hold on. Let me get to where I was. Danny George, that's how Pittsburgh should be playing. Yeah, and that's what Mike Tomlin preaches every single day. That's what he tries to say, that's the image that he wants. That's exactly what he says. And again, guys, you can call me delusional. You can say I'm wrong. But man, Justin Fields got the same fucking skill set as Jaylen Hurts. You know what does, though? Before I get back into the comments, I see Zachary, Sean, what's up, Jeffrey Champion. I'll get to all the comments here in 1 second. But you know what chaps my ass in today's NFL? And I don't like it. And I feel like it's been dumbed down. And I hate it. And I'm going to speak my mind on it. And I've said it a little bit before here and there. But man, where is the complexity at the quarterback position anymore? I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't watch college football for a reason. I don't like the college football way they approach things. I like the NFL because I want to see complexity in the offensive systems. I want to see complexity at the quarterback position. I want to see a quarterback being able to really dive in deep on film study and really come out and be able to identify exactly what a defensive unit is doing against them and be able to dissect them and rip them apart like a fucking surgeon. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm looking for offensive football. And I just pray to God that one of these young men that are coming up here over the next few years at the quarterback position, I hope we start to see that transition back away from high school football, the RPO shit. I want to see a quarterback that gets in there and can stand in the pocket and dominate, and that'll be the next quarterback that can win multiple Super Bowls, that is going to dominate the league like one Tom Brady. The last surgeon in the league was Tom Brady. The last guy that could just really game plan for any defense and be far, 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 far athletically inferior, but yet be able to dominate. That's the last guy that could do that. And I want to see that again. I want to see that type of player. We'll see if some of these quarterbacks that are in the league now can continue to move in that direction. I feel like Patrick Mahomes can a little bit. And last night, that one hurts him. That one really put a chink in his armor. But you know what, guys? It still didn't tell me that Patrick Mahomes isn't the best quarterback in this league. He still is, 1,000%. He still has 3 Super Bowl titles total. Yeah, he was going for the three-peat last night and to get his 4th Super Bowl ring, but he didn't. And I want to know this. They throw around the term dynasty rather loosely also. I don't know if I consider a team with less than 4 Super Bowls a dynasty. I don't know if I can consider that a dynasty. I feel that there's been very few dynasties in the NFL. The New England Patriots won. The Pittsburgh Steelers won. The 49ers, we could say, had a dynasty probably. And the Dallas Cowboys. Those teams are probably the only 4 that had true dynasties. In my opinion, I don't know. I may be wrong. I think you need to have no less than 4 Super Bowls. That's just my opinion. In terms of like in a group, you need to win those 4 Super Bowls within a decade. That's a dynasty to me. With pretty much the same team. Same key players. All right, Zachary says, "Are you happy that Kenny won the Super Bowl?" I could give two shits less, Zachary. To be honest, I do not care if Kenny Pickett got a Super Bowl ring. The guy didn't contribute at all to this Super Bowl victory. He did not contribute, not even a little bit to it. He was not even on the radar in terms of being a contributor to this Lombardi Trophy run for the Philadelphia Eagles. So it really does not matter to me in any way, shape, or form if Kenny Pickett has a Super Bowl ring. Because to be honest with you, there are about 4 players on that Eagles team that have connections to Pittsburgh, either through college or the NFL. So, we could say that about several players. Kenny Pickett's just another player in the NFL, another average guy that's never going to make a bunch of money. He's just going to make the average money. He's just going to be a guy that lingers around as a second, third string guy. That's all he'll ever be. And that's okay. I had high hopes for Kenny. I wanted him to be the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that didn't happen. That didn't work out. And you know what? It is what it is. We saw Kenny's true colors when he didn't have any guts or intestinal fortitude to stay with the Pittsburgh Steelers and fight for a position that should have been his. He didn't have those guts. He didn't have that fight. He didn't have that ability to do that. And I don't want that guy on your football team. Kenny Pickett was so glad. Congratulations to Philadelphia. That's from Miss P. Sean says the Eagles defense played a really good game. Yeah, they were the X factor, guys. They won that game for the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's not to discount anything Jaylen Hurts did last night. He was absolutely a star. Absolutely, utterly amazing. And just, man, I really got to tip my hat to Jaylen Hurts. Guys, he was that guy last night. He deserved the MVP of that football game. Now, if you could give it to a unit, I think the defense would have got the MVP over everybody. If you could have said, man, the Philadelphia Eagles defense is the Super Bowl MVP. That would have been cool. Another Wombat coming in with the super chat. Another Wombat, thank you. Pickett won a key game. TBF, truth be heard, or yeah, I think you said truth be heard. I'm sorry, I'm not good with the acronyms. Another Wombat, I apologize. He did well as a backup. Not my main comment, but also Maddox looked awesome. He was a pick corner that has been good for years, but he was definitely lied to by the organization. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, Kenny did win that game. Another Wombat. Again, thank you for the super chat. He did win one game. No doubt about it, and that was a key game. He did win one, right? No, he lost. I thought they lost to the Commanders. I thought, yeah, when he came in when Jaylen got hurt, yeah, but he didn't play bad. No, he didn't play bad. No, not at all. He played okay, and he did what he had to do. He was the backup. He did what he had to do. But in no way, shape, or form do I consider him a contributor at all. Kenny just left a bad taste in my mouth, That's where I'm just really stuck with Kenny, because I understand what the Steelers were doing with Russell Wilson. I understand that they were bringing him in, and Kenny wanted out. Kenny wanted to go somewhere else. And that right there just really left a bad taste in my mouth because, you were running from a challenge. You were running away from competition. And that just shows me nothing in terms of character, in terms of that guy that I want out there fighting each and every week for my football team. And that was okay for him to go. I just feel like he fell into a lucky situation. Congratulations to them all. They have a Super Bowl ring, and a lot of people won't. And Kenny Pickett will now be one of those people that has a Super Bowl ring. And again, congratulations for it. But again, I don't know. He's on the team. It is what it is. He did what he had to do when he was called upon. That's one thing you can give him. I will say that, I guess. He did what he had to do when they called his number, and again, that's what I was talking about when you said Maddox. Yeah, he looked good, man. And that whole defense did. But definitely, there were several players. There was an offensive lineman on the Philly team that had ties to the Steelers. So, yes, several. I think 4 in total that had ties to the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the years here that were on that Philadelphia roster. But you know who has a real hand in building that roster that won that Super Bowl last night? That's Andy Weidel. What's he been with the Steelers now? 2 years? So, yes, he definitely had a hand in what was going on there in the city of Philadelphia winning that title. It takes a little bit of time to build a real foundation, and I think Andy Weidel was part of that, building that foundation for the Philadelphia Eagles. Thanks again to another Wombat for the Super Chat. Truly, truly appreciate you, another Wombat, as always. Thank you again for the rubies that were gifted also. Thank you guys so much. So we're going to continue to roll on. We need you guys to double tap that screen, hit that like button for us here on Steel City Live, only here on Mic Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. As always, we are diving in here each and every single day on our live show. Hitting that like button is free. That helps send us out into that YouTube algorithm. And again, if you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Join the conversation here on the channel. We truly appreciate that. Let's keep going. Jeffrey Champion says, there's only been 2 defenses in my lifetime that I can say has been, or he's the greatest, the Legion of Boom and this Eagles defense. Yeah, Jeffrey, there's been a couple defenses in my eyes that have been really dominant, more than just those 2, that have been absolutely really dominant defenses. You have to look at the Baltimore Ravens defenses, the Pittsburgh Steelers under Dick LeBeau, especially when they won against the Arizona Cardinals. They had a really stellar defense, really one of the league's best, historical defense. So those 2 teams really had stellar defenses. Yes, Seattle and the Legion of Boom, and this Eagles defense, definitely. Those are just some that come to mind here, just off the top of my head, but I can name many. I'm not sure how old you are, Jeffrey, but definitely 2 that you listed there for sure, and I think I could add another couple. Matt Burton, Eagles took the playbook from the Bucs on how to beat Mahomes. Yeah, Matt, you got to do that. Let me get a drink, guys. In the meantime, well, I don't know why you're not hitting that like button. Beat up that like button, guys. Double tap that screen. It's free. All right, guys. That's what you got to do. Good franchises do that. Good coaching staffs do that. They look back in time. They look at recent games. And it doesn't have to be this year, or last year, or the year before. They go through and they look at games against certain quarterbacks. They look at games against certain coaches that are on the staff, and they look at their tendencies. They look at how they've been beat before. They look at all those things, and then they take those things from the past and combine them with this season and what they were doing this season. And you could tell the Eagles, from the moment they won that NFC Championship game up until last night's Super Bowl, they were preparing. They were watching film the whole time. You could tell that with the play of Jaylen Hurts. You could tell that with the play of the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. You could tell the way that coaching staff handled Andy Reid and that phenomenal coaching staff. You could just tell that the Eagles studied their ass off, man. And that really shined through last night. They were the most prepared football team out there. And when you are the most prepared, and I'm not saying Andy Reid's team wasn't prepared, because they're always prepared. But what the edge was is that the Eagles were ultra prepared, just pretty much probably as much, if not more, than the Chiefs. But their roster is stacked. They probably had the best roster in the NFL, to be honest. And when you combine those 2 things, you're unstoppable. And they showed that last night. And guys, I would not be shocked if last night wasn't the start of a real run for Jaylen Hurts and this Eagles team. I wouldn't be shocked if you don't start to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl over and over and over and over, like you saw the Chiefs. I think they're going to be a tough out no matter how you slice it. I think they could be real dominant for the next 2 or 3 years here. And as long as they continue to address their deficiencies in the offseason and continue to draft well and be really good in free agency, I could see them being very, very good for years to come. Yinsburg Nation, what's up, man? Who should be our number one off-season signing? Justin Fields, Justin Fields, Justin Fields. It's got to be done. It's the only thing that makes sense in my eyes. That's what I think the offseason should hold. That's where I think the Steelers should turn. All right, guys, we are over at 100 concurrent viewers. Let's go ahead and make sure we're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here. Again, it's absolutely free. Send us out into that algorithm and make sure you're sharing the show. But double tap the screen, like the show. It really helps. We're always chasing 100 likes here on the live stream. So let's continue. Zach Curry says JF2 is the guy. I miss Pittsburgh waving that terrible towel. Let's keep going here. Sorry, I got mixed up in the chat, guys. Sorry. Where was I? We're just going to have to start. The camera is angled differently. Oh, okay. The Chiefs forgot how to play football, bro, from Samuel. Big task at hand, New York Giants. Sleeping ladies. Steelers are going to get priced out of the Justin Fields conversation. If his value gets too high, then I don't know if a deal will happen. They'll probably have to give him a long-term deal / commitment. What do you think? I don't think they're going to get priced out of the Justin Fields conversation because they have the cap space available to do it. Now, if it becomes unrealistic and unreasonable and the price becomes far just too great, I get myself out of the conversation, whether or not I'm forced out of it or not by other teams bidding. Because let's be honest, Justin Fields hasn't done anything in the NFL that warrants, a $50 million a year contract, a Jaylen Hurts type contract. He hasn't done those things. He hasn't put any team into the playoff and really been a true contender. He's not done that. So Justin Fields' value, guys, in my eyes, is around $15 to $20 million per season. I think that's a fair market value in my eyes for Justin Fields. Now, perhaps after seeing Jaylen Hurts win a Super Bowl last night, perhaps his market value goes up. Why? Because it shows you that you can win a Super Bowl with a quarterback that is built just like Jaylen Hurts, and Justin Fields is that guy. So maybe that does increase his value, and maybe that does make teams go out there and overpay for it. But the part of this that teams don't realize is you can't overpay for Justin Fields, a player like that. Why? Because you have to be able to put a team around him. And luckily, the Philadelphia Eagles, before they paid Jaylen Hurts, they started to really draft well. They started to really get the foundation of their football team built. And had a solid roster around him. Once they were able to pay him, they made the moves that were necessary and adjusted this roster to have good weapons on the edges, have good running game, and spend the money in those categories to support their quarterback. But yet they're able to still draft really, really well and bring players in like Cooper DeJean, who had a pick six. Guys up on the defensive front that have been absolutely outstanding. Carter being one of them. But they've been able to do all of those things, and they've been really sound in their offseason preparation, free agency, and the draft. Excuse me. So definitely, again, you can't pay for a guy like Justin Fields, overpay for a guy like Justin Fields and expect to win, because that doesn't get you anywhere. You got to be able to put a team around him. And I think, honestly, if I'm Justin Fields, the only team that does make sense is the Steelers. Why? Because they're not entirely too far off, man. And they have the tools that are in place right now that adding Justin and adding a few skill players and tweaking around in the trenches a little bit could put you into that category. Oh, another Wombat with another super chat. Thank you so much, another Wombat. Absolutely grateful, man. At 15 to 20, should we just look at Stafford or Rodgers as a proven quarterback that can make the throws? This is assuming that we are pushing the trenches in the draft this year. I think, first of all, I think they're going to address the defensive front, and I think they are going to address skill players. That's where I think that they're going to really turn their attention this year in the draft, and I think that's wise. Quarterback wouldn't be a position that comes in the first round, no doubt about that. Quarterback's probably going to come at, I could say, early as second. But I'm not going to say the Steelers do that either. I think it would be a third round, maybe a fourth round pick at quarterback, maybe. That would be the case. I think that they should spend the draft capital elsewhere, but that's okay. I don't think it would be a wasted pick if they got a quarterback. But if you're looking at Stafford, that's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to make that happen. So we could just wipe that one out. Stafford's not going to happen. And Aaron Rodgers, again, maybe they can make that happen, but why would you want to? He's old, and I feel like he's a locker room cancer. He's a media circus. I don't think it works, and I think what you saw with the New York Jets shows you that, in my eyes. I think that they had a very steady, solid roster there, and Aaron Rodgers didn't play bad up there. To be honest, he really wasn't horrible. But what happened was what? That team locker room just didn't seem together, and I think that's what Aaron Rodgers brings. So I would not go in the Stafford-Rodgers range. I think it, one, costs way too much money, and when you have a year that the Steelers are going to have here with an abundance of salary cap space, I don't think you go out there and get some old quarterback. I think that you saw what that does this season. It didn't get you anywhere. Russ wasn't that guy. I really wanted Russ to play. I was hoping that he still had a little left in the tank. He did against inferior opponents, but when it came down to it, he wasn't able to get it done, and that's okay. We tried. We seen that story be written already. So Stafford, Rodgers, out of the question in my eyes. Again, I really don't think they would ever happen. But the only logical thing that makes sense is trying to get Justin Fields in the building for around $15 to $20 million per season. You go ahead and make that deal for 2 years, make it fully guaranteed, and that gives you outs. That gives you opportunity. It secures a quarterback for 2 years and allows you to start really dedicating every resource you have to maybe looking for that next franchise guy. In the meantime, you have a guy like Justin Fields that's highly athletic, playing this high school football style game that the NFL plays now, and perhaps gives you a chance to win. And maybe, just maybe, he blossoms into something special. That could be, it's a win-win for the Steelers. And if you would go the Stafford or Rodgers route, it's a lose-lose for the Steelers because they don't have a team in place right now that can win with one of those quarterbacks because their team just isn't good enough in key positions. Again, we got to watch how this offensive line develops because they are young and they just have to continue to develop. And again, that's going to take time. I think they will have a stellar offensive line here in the next year or two. You got to invest money in that defensive front, whether it be draft picks or what. You got to get younger there, and you got to get a real true nose. Maybe Mon Adams is that guy if he could stay healthy and stay out on the field and be utilized correctly and really put into the lineup in a big way. I don't know. But you need that run stuffer up front in terms of a nose tackle and really allow Benton and Hayward to play that defensive tackle role, constantly and not try to be that nose because they're not that guy. Again, there's too many holes to bring in an old quarterback. We saw the story be written this year. And if you're a Steelers fan, you just don't want to see that happen again. Let's keep going here, guys. Again, thank you to another Wombat for 2 awesome Super Chats here so far tonight. Appreciate that, guys. Super Chats are always open, guys. Always appreciated. Another way you can support the channel is by becoming a Mic Drop Mafia member. That's 99 cents a month. It always helps out the channel, and that is going to get you into a drawing for a signed, authentic TJ Watt jersey. But that will happen once we hit 10,000 subscribers. So that's something to look forward to. That jersey's probably already worth a couple $100. So, it's a nice little prize. So make sure if you're not a member, make sure you get that. And again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe because that'll be part of our giveaways. I'm going to try to really get our membership program going here over the off season again. It's been very good here on the channel as of late. So, had a piece of hair floating around there. So I didn't want it to fly into my coffee. That would have been detrimental to the show. But yeah, guys, make sure you do all that. Again, hit that like button, guys. It's absolutely free, man. Double tap that screen, or there's 3 little white dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen. You can hit that. That drop-down box will come in, and really light that like button up. It really, truly helps. And we're always trying to hit 100 likes, definitely. So let's continue to do that. We did that. Sleeping Lady Steelers are going to get. We did that. Downtown people crying about Kenny Pickett getting a Super Bowl ring. Big whoopee. Cliff Stout has got one. And how many of yous know that? There's tons of people downtown that have Super Bowl rings that we've never even heard of. And that's what I say. It kind of is what it is. Congratulations to the guy. He'll have one forever unless he gets some financial difficulty and he hawks it. Isaiah, go Steelers from New York. Well, welcome from New York. Another Wombat, what did I miss? Oh, he was early. Sean, people who keep bringing up Pickett are just trying to stir the pot and create friction. No sweat off my back. What's up, downtown? Another Wombat, I see comments about Pickett too. Brandon to Brand, Pickett needs to go to a real team. Pickett was on a real team. He just won a Super Bowl. So I would say he's there, Brandon. Colin, Ohio dump. Steelers suck. Go Bengals. Another Wombat. Are we still talking about this dude? Awesome at Pitt. Got fucked by the organization. He's gone now. No point unless you're a Pitt fan. Matt Burton. Mahomes didn't suck. His O-line did, just like us. Robert Road Fields is projected to get $7 to $8 million per season. There was next to no market for Fields last season. That is why the Steelers were able to get him for a 6th-round pick. 7 to 8 million, Robert. I don't know where that number's coming from, and I don't doubt your stats. You are always good with the stats, but 7 to 8 million I find to be very far-fetched. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I would like the Steelers, if they could stay under 15 million per season for Justin Fields, I'd be happier than a lark, man. That would really be awesome, especially when you're preparing for the draft that happened in Pittsburgh in 2026. And I can't wait for that draft to happen, man, because we will be hammering it out down there. Yinsburg Nation. As a Yinzer, we need to pay Naj. We need to re-sign Pickens, spend money in free agency, and get new offense, and most importantly, re-sign Fields. They're not going to re-sign Najee Harris. And they quite possibly are not going to give Pickens any new money until they see what the hell that kid's going to do, man. Or I don't want to call him a man because I think he is kind of childish. But Pickens is a guy that I don't see getting new money at all until, I just don't see him getting new money this summer. I don't. And if the Steelers are doing bad, look for him to get moved before the trade deadline for significant draft capital, if that's the case, if they don't trade him before then. I really, truly, as this offseason's developing, and I know a lot of people don't want to see it, but I could really, truly see George Pickens being moved again in preparation for 2026 because I think Minka's a guy that you could move. I think George is a guy you could move. And dare I say it, I think TJ Watt's a guy you could probably move on if you're really rebuilding. It just depends on what direction you're moving as a franchise, to be honest. Which direction are you going? Are you going in a complete massive overhaul of that defense and this whole roster? Or are you just piecing it together and keeping some of the key players that you have in place already? That's the question that you really have to ask, and if you're going to do a complete overhaul, that's when you trade guys like TJ. That's when you trade Minka. That's when you trade George, and you get significant draft capital for them. And that's how you really flip-flop an entire roster, guys. But you know what you can't let on into the NFL in terms of general managers? You can't let anybody know you're doing a fire sale. You kind of got to do it slowly. And I know that's painful at times, but if you're a good general manager, you're not going to let every GM in the league know you're doing a fucking fire sale to rebuild your roster, because people are going to just ravage your cupboards, man, and take all your players for next to nothing. And that's not what the idea is. You want to slowly get rid of piece by piece each player that you feel has that significant draft capital value that you could get that return on investment for, and slowly piece that together and allow those draft picks to build up quietly, because then people aren't stupid. They know what you're doing. And if you have a ton of draft picks and you have a good general manager, you can flip your roster a 180 in no time, man. But every team isn't good at drafting players. Every team isn't good at that. Every team doesn't have a good general manager. So, that's why it's hard to do. Let's keep going. We did that. Ravens 76. A dominant team is built from the trenches. Absolutely, man. I said that all summer last year. A lot of people agree. Dakota is below average quarterback. I don't know who you're talking about. Downtown, I agree. Jason, over the word dynasty. Just anyone can be called genius. LOL. Yeah, no doubt, man. The term dynasty is used way too loosely, man. Just winning a couple Super Bowls and you're seeing like dynasty, Chiefs dynasty. They don't even have 4 Super Bowls in this Pat Mahomes era. They haven't won 4 Super Bowls. You can't call it a dynasty yet. If you haven't won 4 Super Bowls, you are not a dynasty. Super Bowl appearances are great. That adds to your dynasty. But you can't put the Patrick Mahomes era up against the Tom Brady era of New England and act like it's better, because it's not. Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game. Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots and then went on to win a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but won 6 with the New England Patriots. That's a dynasty with one quarterback at the helm, winning 6 championships with the same head coach, the same quarterback. So that's a dynasty. The Steelers of the 70s. That's a dynasty. Over a decade, winning 4 Super Bowls with the same core of players. That's a dynasty. That's what you call a dynasty. Hold on here, guys. West Philly Black. The Chiefs are winning games all year by luck. Or were winning games all year by luck. They should have had a 9-8 record. They were not dominant at all this year. They finally played the best roster in the NFL, and it showed. Well, absolutely. But you know what the Chiefs were? Championship pedigree. And that's why they won the amount of games that they did. Because their roster wasn't dominant roster, but their coaching staff was really good. They were well prepared, and they have a franchise quarterback, probably one of the greater ones, in Patrick Mahomes. They had an inferior roster last night to the Philadelphia Eagles. Absolutely. If you have a regular quarterback, you're probably going to be, a 9-8 football team. Absolutely. But here's the thing. The Chiefs have championship pedigree. They know how to win, and that's why they were so good. They ran into a buzzsaw last night, and they got fucked up, bro, from the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, definitely. All right, guys, again, thank you. The Super Chats are open. Truly appreciate that. The memberships are open. That's a good way to support the channel. 99 cents a month. Always will be 99 cents a month to join the Mic Drop Mafia. Also, guys, again, appreciate you guys for hitting that like button. It's absolutely free. Double tap that screen or hit the 3 little white dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen. Bring down that like box and hit it. We truly appreciate it. But again, what was the emphasis of this show tonight? That is just saying this. What you saw on that Super Bowl field in New Orleans last night in the, what do they call it now? Is it the Mercedes-Benz Dome anymore? Hell, I don't know. That stadium last night showed you something. That Philly team showed you something. They showed you a blueprint on how to win and be fucking dominant in the NFL. And that is to have good quarterback play. A guy that can hit a splash play, a guy that can get it done with his legs, a guy that can play that college, high school brand offense, and have a fucking dominant defense. I'm just telling you. That they showed you the formula, guys. Another Wombat. Welcome to the Mic Drop Mafia. Appreciate your support, another Wombat. Thank you so very much. What's up, Big Ross? What's Russ? Big Russ in the house. Big Tom Ford in the house. Good to see you guys. Thank you. And again, congratulations. Thank you. Another Wombat. He is now in the drawings and is a Mic Drop Mafia member. Let's keep going. Steelers stick 2. They should have went 8-9. That's from Brandon DeBrand, the guy that he always tries to stir shit. Yeah, he should have went 8-9. They stick 2, whatever stick 2 is. I know what you're trying to say, though. Who do you think we're drafting from Yinsburg? I think this is who they're drafting, Yinsburg. They're going after skill players. Hopefully, best player available, man. It's got to be a wide receiver, in my opinion, of high status, hopefully. A guy that can really create some real separation and create some real dynamic plays inside of this offense and be a real tactician in the route running game. I feel like the Steelers missed that this season. They needed a real tactician, a guy that can really run every route, a guy that is absolute precision in his route running, and I think that pays big dividends, and they didn't have that. So that's something I think they should look for. Running backs maybe, and defensive front, a real nose tackle would be nice. You don't have to do that in the first round. And just really add depth to this roster. That's what you got to go in and have as your real true mindset when you're in this NFL draft world. You got to go in there thinking to yourself, we have to draft and really build the depth on this roster and allow young players to start developing, because I feel like Mike Tomlin's coaching staff doesn't know how to develop young players, and I think that's a big issue. I think Pat Meyer has been failing with that, with the offensive line guys. I think that's been an issue, but I just think as this coaching staff looks as a whole, they are not able to develop young players. They just haven't been good at it. So hopefully they're able to start doing that. But man, it's just a tall ask to expect change from a guy that has been there for 18 years and to expect any type of real switch in philosophy. He thinks he's right. He believes he's right. He believes he is always going to be right. And Mike Tomlin just really needs some real big changes, man. All right, guys, keep hitting that like button. We're almost to 50. We're always shooting for 100 likes here on Steel City Live, only on Mic Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason, as always. I got to get a drink. I got to wet the whistle, man, as it's hard to talk for a straight hour by myself. Craig Werlow in the house. Eagles defense was amazing. Patrick looked like a below-average quarterback against them. No, that offensive line last night for the Chiefs, they played badly. But you know what? That was to be expected. That defensive front for Philadelphia, guys, is absolutely amazing. You saw what they did to the Steelers. They dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have to agree to disagree on that one. I'm not sure what we were talking about on that one. Team Money, how did the Steelers do this year? How was Christmas? Go Jags, Jaguars, Super Bowl 2026. Kenny grew up an Eagles fan, and he has a ring. He is from Philly. Well, there you go, Kenny. Enjoy that, man. Love the Steelers merch. Thanks, man. We're going to have some merch soon, man. That's something I forgot to tell you guys. I have been working very diligent here as of late. And I think we're going to be able to get a store on here to where you're going to be able to get Mic Drop t-shirts, hats, and like some towels with Mic Drop on. I found I could do that, like coffee cups and stuff. Now, I'm not going to make a ton of money or anything off of it, so it is what it is. But I'm going to see about ordering something here and just seeing what the quality of it is. And if it is of high enough quality, I'll go ahead and set it up officially and put it out there for you guys to be able to get some stuff. But it would be awesome to go into Latrobe for training camp and to see some mic drop t-shirts on. That would be fucking awesome. Oh, awesome, Bob. Good to see you. 2000s Raven, Devin Burkett. Pittsburgh Steelers 09 and 05 had better defense than both Seattle and the Eagles. The Eagles defense, man, this year was pretty fucking good. Wow, they were real good. It's hard. Though, Devin, I don't disagree with your comment. I don't agree. It's so hard to compare different eras, guys. You look at decade to decade, this league changes so vastly and looks so vastly different. And it's really hard to compare, the early 2000s to the 2025 season. It's just really a whole different league than what it was in 09, 05, than what it is today. So definitely, it's really, really hard. Never ever. Justin Fields is not Hurts. No, he's not. He's not Jaylen Hurts. There's only one Jaylen Hurts. There's only one Justin Fields. There's only one Russell Wilson. There's only one Peyton Manning. You're right. I'm not saying he is Hurts. That's in all of sports, guys. And that is a conversation that fucking irks me to the core. LeBron and Jordan conversation. You can't, it doesn't matter. They played in two different fucking eras, all that shit. Again, you can't it's just, it doesn't work. Each player is their own individual. Each player is their own individual, man. And that has to be recognized. And again, Justin Fields is a guy that has the same skill set as Jaylen Hurts. You can't deny that. It's the same thing. He does the same damn things. Jaylen Hurts just plays on the NFL's best fucking roster. And I love Jaylen. I give him more credit than I give probably most quarterbacks on this show. Jaylen Hurts is a stand-up professional. But damn, he's got the same skill set. Justin does. Justin and Jaylen are pretty much prototypically the same fucking player. Another Wombat with 5 gifted memberships. Another Wombat is on a fucking roll tonight, baby. Thank you. Truly appreciate all the support for the show tonight. So awesome from another Wombat. I see many of you contributed with that. Tim Manto, Mr. Big Daddy Avocado, Steeler Lee, Aaron Derrick, all receiving Mic Drop Mafia memberships from the one and only another one Wombat. So thank you so much, man. We're so far behind in the chat, guys. I try to answer everybody's question, but you know what? We're blowing up here, I feel like, a little bit. We get a lot of views here, and the chat is usually lighting up a lot. So it's definitely not like it used to be, to where I could read 99% of the comments, man, each and every night. But damn, I'm not able to do it anymore. I try my best, though. I really, really do. Yeah, Matt, I agree. There's some good defenses, too. Craig Warlow, I am afraid that now that the Jets, moving on from Rodgers, that they will make a play for Fields. Guys, Robert brought up a good point. There was a limited market for Justin Fields, and I believe the reason why the market was so limited was because they were asking far too much for Justin Fields at that time. They were expecting a massive return of investment for Justin, and they didn't get that. They weren't able to achieve that, which limited the market for Justin Fields in a major, major way. It shrunk it down, and the longer it dragged itself out, that situation drug itself out, it really just put Justin Fields and his value dead in the water. And again, that's why the Steelers, and Robert pointed that out, that's why they were able to achieve a 6th-round draft pick price for Justin. But this year, his play, reaching a 4-2 record and doing something that a lot of fans are discounting. And that is, he got better every single week of the season and showed growth and promise, and showed that he can achieve way more than what he was achieving in Chicago. That did grow his value. And again, whoever projected his value to be 7 or 8 million, I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's going to be vastly higher. How much higher? It's going to be a coin flip. I believe it to be probably 15 to 20 million per season. That's where I think that what he did this season and the growth that he showed, I think that earned him that. And I say that why? Because the quarterback position is what? The most important position in all of sports. And whenever you have limited success, it's still a little bit of success that teams can look at and evaluate and have hope in. And when you're going to take a gamble as a franchise, where are you going to take that gamble? It ain't going to be at fucking, middle linebacker. It's going to be at the quarterback position. And that's why I think that Justin Fields will have a robust market. And Craig's right. The Jets probably will have interest. The Browns may have interest. There's tons of teams out there that may have interest in Justin Fields because, there's very few franchise quarterbacks in the NFL currently. So, anybody that could roll the dice and possibly get one, they're going to take a chance on it. And that does drive the market value up of a player, whether we agree with it or not. All right, guys, I need 6 more of you to double tap that screen. Hit that like button for us. It's absolutely free. Get us up to 50 likes. We're always chasing 100 likes here on the live stream. Again, I appreciate all the support, all the super chats, the gifts, the super gifts, all of the likes, all of the shares, and all of the gifted memberships. That was awesome. So definitely a big night here tonight. I appreciate it so much. We're going to go for a little bit longer here. Za says Hurts is an elite. So yes, they are about the same. Pitt versus Philly, Super Bowl 60. Mr. Manu, I was thinking that today. I was thinking that. Wouldn't that be fucking wild for the 60th Super Bowl to have Jaylen Hurts versus Justin Fields, Steelers, Philadelphia? Wow. Would that not be absolutely insane? I think it would be fucking cool as hell. 77 Steelers, but the Steelers 05 and 09 are super close. Yeah, and again, look at the 77 Steelers, though, Devin. Look at their average weights from 1977 to 2025 along that defensive front. Look at those little things, and you just see how vastly different of a game it is. I hope, Jay. Devin says, Eagles push the Chiefs around like they were a high school team. Yeah, they did. Daniel James, Jay, my brother, hope you and your family are doing well. Man, the Chiefs look like the Steelers. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you, my friend. I hope you're doing well also. What's up, Zeke? Steelers? Man, they did look pedestrian last night, but definitely Pat's still a good quarterback, man. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, we finally exposed Pat Mahomes. Nah, he's still elite, no doubt about it. But, man, again, guys, I think the Eagles showed you what you can do with good quarterback play, massive defense, but it can't be the Mike Tomlin way of this. And again, I know Mike Tomlin preaches that he wants what the Eagles have. That's what he says every year. But it can't be the way that Mike Tomlin approaches it. Mike Tomlin approaches it in a very primitive way, a very basic way. If you see the Eagles, they have an eccentric run game, and the scheme with Saquon Barkley is absolutely awesome. The way they attack, the way they get out there and get their linemen in space, blocking downfield, the way they use Saquon as a lead blocker for Justin, for Jaylen rather, the way they are able to manipulate the edges with the two good wide receivers they have. They just have so much in that offense in terms of weaponry that teams have to play you honest, and that's what you saw last night. When you saw that Kansas City Chiefs team take on the Pittsburgh Steelers late in the regular season, the Steelers weren't dynamic. The Chiefs defense didn't have to play the Steelers offense honest because they didn't have to respect an abundance of players on that offense. They knew that they were limited in what they were going to do. That's not saying that there weren't players in place that they could use. They just weren't going to use them. Russ wasn't going to throw across the middle of the field. They weren't going to utilize Mike Williams or Calvin Austin in a big way. They were going to try to force feed George Pickens the ball. George Pickens was going to play halfway. Najee Harris doesn't fit into the zone run scheme, and they were going to run him downhill every first and second down. They weren't going to be anything different. They were going to pitch him the football. They knew. They knew. And again, it's so easy to game plan against that. And that's what plagued the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. Guys, my chat just went the whole way down to the bottom. So I'm going to start with Mila Meter, 215. I'm glad Mahomes is in the AFC, LOL. Russ says, Eagles O-line played great, average 350. Yeah, man, they're beasts, man. Sleeping Lady, Eagles manhandled our defense. They did. They dominated the Steelers defense. 0. Steelers like 20 to 25 years off from being good. That's dumb comment. 0. Sorry. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense because they're not. Because there's so many things that they could do here in 2025 and 2026 that could really flip this franchise around and really create a dominant franchise for a long time. They have a golden opportunity in front of them. Miss P, them damn boys, they are the best in the NFL. Just your average Devin but Jaylen Hurts is better overall compared to Fields. Right now, because he's won. Just your average Devin. They've won. He's won. He's won a Lombardi. He's been in the playoffs. He's had success. But at no time in Justin Fields' career has he ever played with 2 top-flight wide receivers. He's never played with a top-shelf running back. He's never had a stellar offensive line in front of him. So you can't compare the two in terms of how they are right now today. But if I look at each player individually, if I look at Jaylen Hurts and I look at Justin Fields and I look at their skill sets, that's where I get the comparison. That's how I can figure into my head and anticipate what could be or what possibly could happen down the road. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at their win-loss records, none of it. I'm looking at sheer athleticism, sheer way they play the game, and how they attack each defense that they play each week. That's what I'm looking at. Eagles are a hungry group, man. They want to win. They're a good team. They're a team. Somebody needed a flag. Zaw says throw a flag, so I'm throwing a flag. There's a flag. I don't know who it was on, but I'll throw it. Who needed a flag? Oh, I know who you guys said. Ciro, or however you say your name. You get a flag. Goodbye. You get a 15-yarder. Big Ben should be coach of the Steelers. Guys, I don't know why everybody is always so fascinated. So many fans are so fascinated with having an ex-player come back and be the coach. I don't get it. I don't understand it. These players that make $200 million, do you think at any time these guys that were really high paid, do you think they would ever come back and coach football? No. They're loaded. They're rich. They're not going to come put that type of time in. Do you understand, guys, to be a coach, how demanding it is on your time and your personal life? It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, you got the flag, Zero. All right, guys, I got to wrap this shit up. Again, thank you for joining us. I need one more like on the like button here, man. Somebody double tap that screen, hit the like button. It's absolutely free. Let's hit that 50 like mark real quick before we jump off the show. Thank you. Appreciate that. But we are wrapping up here on Steel City Live. What a great way to kick off Monday. Another Wombat All-Star tonight. Thank you for your support for the show. Absolutely amazing with that. And again, guys, thank you to everybody else hitting that like button, sharing the show. You guys are so important to me, and I appreciate it so very, very much. But don't forget to check out the daily upload tomorrow. Don't forget to go back and watch the daily upload from today. And if you're not subscribed to Mike Drop Sports, I don't know what the hell you are waiting on. Join the conversation here each and every single day on the channel as we are rapidly growing, and I feel like we're going to continually rapidly grow here, even if it's the off season, because we are going to be here grinding. Again, I apologize for being off for a few days, broken camera, but we are back and we are better than ever. So don't forget, join us all week long. Always working on guests, always trying to bring people on. So be patient. Maybe we'll have some here over the off season and really get to that. So truly appreciate you guys. And until tomorrow, I'm Jason. This is Steel City Live, only here on Mike Drop Sports. Peace, my friends. See you on the next one.